Hey everybody, so summer has just begun and with it has brought us a brand new shark film. It is called The Shallows. It stars Blake Lively as a med student named Nancy. She is visiting a place in Mexico, a surfing spot in Mexico to be precise. It is a spot where her mother went surfing right after she figured out she was pregnant with Nancy. It starts off very lighthearted and fun. She has like a day of nice surf, meets some other surfers, and it's just real cool and pretty, and then everything goes to hell. It is really, really bad what happens with her. Now, I am going to be a little bit nitpicky about this film because there are always those moments in shark films that you're just, that's just, no, that wouldn't happen. Basically, before going in, she decides to catch one more wave, and when she does this, yeah, a great white comes and knocks her board, and she falls off and is then attacked. And one thing that I found very interesting, I love how she pointed out at one point in the movie that it was her at fault here. She stumbled upon the shark's feeding grounds. There is a dead whale carcass just floating in the water that the shark's been feeding on, and she has gotten in the way, and she is fresh meat for the shark. So after she gets attacked by the shark, she swims and climbs on top of the whale and starts, of course, freaking out, not knowing what the hell she's supposed to do. Then she remembers that those other surfers told her about a little island that is around at low tide. And so she goes and figures out a way to trick the shark. This movie basically involves a lot of timing to see how fast the shark is and if she can make it before the shark circles around and gets to her again. If you're one of those people that enjoys adrenaline rushes and stuff like this movie will get your adrenaline running. It's crazy. Every time she swims to a new location and she's trying to stay away from the shark and to save herself, and it's insane. It's insane. So by the time she swims to that island, a little seagull is of course attacked as well by the shark because yeah, that's a thing. So she's stuck on this little island of rocks for overnight. When climbing on it, she even steps on some fire coral, and that comes into play later on in the film, and it's great. It's great. She learns a lot throughout this entire experience and how to fight this shark. One thing that just got on my nerves though about this entire thing, when she pulled her leg out of the water, I mean, that shark bit her, grabbed her, it swung her around like she was bleeding bad. And then I looked at the shark bite and I was just, no. That shark bite looked way too small for a great white. It really did. So once she is on this rock and she's trying to figure out how to survive, she ends up at one point, this is where her medical training, because of course she is a med student and that is a thing in this film. So she takes her earrings out and her jewelry. She starts sewing up her leg with these pieces of jewelry, and I'm just, yeah, that's not good, not good. And she's freaking out, and then she sees the seagull, and eventually she decides to help the seagull out as well. And I think the entirety of the film was great until you got to, like, I don't know, the last 20-15 minutes. Then things kind of got a little really. I'm sure for those of you that are watching this, you have all seen Jaws, and if you have not seen that, what have you been doing with your lives? Anyways, the thing about Jaws and this film, there's a lot of liberties taken with the sharks and the way they act. And it's for the cinematic effect. It's for that big wow factor, like, oh shit, yeah, we're screwed moments. At one point she makes it to a buoy and she is fighting off the shark. Another thing that happens, there was a drunk on the beach and she tries to get his help, and he proceeds to steal her backpack and tries to swim in and steal her surfboard, but then he gets eaten by the shark. So that was one thing that I was like, thank you, shark. That guy was an ass and he needed to die. The next thing that I hated, it sucked because, yeah, we thought, okay, she's gonna maybe get some help. But we saw this in the trailer, so we knew that they were gonna die anyway. We saw the two surfers coming to try and help her. They at first didn't believe about the shark, and then they saw that she really needed help, so one was swimming back to shore and one was coming to help her. And yeah, they both die. But there was one useful thing that happened in result of the surfers coming back towards her to help her. One of the surfers had a GoPro on his helmet, and she finally gets her hands on it. It's crazy the lengths she goes to get this GoPro, but she finally gets it, does a video to her father and sister, and sends it going towards the shore. And yeah, so that is kind of left on the back burner for a minute, and then we see a bunch of just crazy fighting between her and this great white shark. There was a moment where a ship was coming by and she shot up a flare at it, and of course they didn't see her and she didn't get saved right there. And then there's a moment where the shark starts attacking the buoy and she just goes crazy on the shark and starts attacking it, and at one point she shoots towards the whale, the flare towards the whale, and it kind of creates a fire because of the blubber and all that stuff. And the shark gets hit with fire and all this, and the shark just like, yeah, screw you, and swims under. And then we see the moment where the buoy gets completely destroyed and knocked over. Once she realizes that it's time for her to make her final stand if she wants to survive, she goes under the buoy, grabs the chain connected to the anchor, and once it rips off of the buoy, she gets dragged under real deep, really fast, and the great white comes right after her, and right before she hits the bottom of the ocean, she swims to the side, and the shark just crushes and gets impaled on the anchor and shit. And I'm just like, no. I just didn't believe it. It was one of those, yeah, no scenes. I didn't believe that a shark would do that. I think it would have pulled up. And the way it was acting was just completely not like a shark would act. But it was a great shark film. The thing that was great about the whole thing with the GoPro, that is what's really helped her. That is what saved her life. Now, at this point in the film, she has killed the shark, and she of course has to get to shore and get help. Well, that is where that GoPro comes into play. At the beginning of the film, they show a little kid walking along the beach, and he finds a GoPro and he starts watching it and seeing the surfers and her. And we flash forward and see that scene again, and we realize that was at the end of the film, and we see the kid watching it and realizing he needs to go get help. She has her face off with the shark in between when the kid has left and when he comes back. And when he comes back, the buoy is gone, it is sunk, and all of that. And who does he bring back? Well, it is the guy that went and brought Nancy to the beach, who gave her a ride. And I think his name was Carlos. Once he gets to the beach, he starts searching it for her, and once he finds her, he is able to save her and help her out and all that. And yeah, everything's just looking all great. And then at the end of the film, we see her at the beach with her sister and dad in Galveston, and they go out for a surf, and I'm just still like, okay, that was a fairly decent shark film. I just wish they would have paid attention to all of the shark facts. But I guess it might not be that great of a film if they just let the shark kill her. I really enjoyed this film, and I would definitely recommend it to others. I hope all of you have a great Shark Week. If you enjoyed this, please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.